The vast majority of nonprofit organizations, or charities or NGOs as they're known across the globe, operate on a small budget and are dedicated to meeting the needs of their community. Fortunately, there are 3 types of grants available to nonprofits in your own hometown. What are they? Let's find out. And I'll also share some pro tips that are some serious fundraising tips for nonprofits. When you combine what you watch in this video with the links that I will discuss and then post in the description below, you will have a free mini masterclass in grants for nonprofits. If this sounds like too much all at once, use the chapters in this video. Watch what you want, come back anytime. I'll be here. The first grant source we'll cover is a best-kept secret, though I talk about it a lot on Grant Chatter, and that is the Community Foundation. I mention it because they help nonprofits in lots of ways. Just like your nonprofit, they serve a limited geographic range, a city, a county, or a region. They are not government funded, and it's a little complicated, but here's how they work. Individual donors in the region make a substantial gift to the Community Foundation, which pools all those donations together and invests them. The interest from those investments forms a pool of grant funds that your nonprofit applies to. There are other ways that community foundations work, and it's all private dollars. They can tell you more about it. To find your community foundation, use this locator linked in the description below. Shout out to our friends in Australia, Canada, and Great Britain. I also have a community foundation locator for you, also linked in the description below. My pro tip for community foundations will take you far beyond grant dollars. Once you find your community foundation, study their website. And don't be afraid to contact them. They have staff, and it is part of their job to help you. They also have free workshops on how to apply for their grants. I just attended one this week for the nonprofit I work for. They are always very helpful, and you will meet other nonprofit leaders in your area. Community foundations also provide free workshops on all kinds of topics to help you strengthen your nonprofit in all kinds of ways. The second hometown grant opportunity is from corporations. You may be surprised to learn that large and small corporations in your area intentionally plan how to give back to the community, which includes grants. This section is US based, but for our international friends, I cover corporate grants in my videos on grants for Australia, grants in Canada, and grants for Great Britain. All linked below. Step 1. The first step to find corporate grants in your area is to look for the companies that live and serve the same geographic region that your nonprofit does. That can mean local business, local utilities, or the local offices of national or international corporations, such as big box stores, corporate offices, call centers, distribution centers, and banks. Step 2, find grant information on the company website. From the home page, usually you'll find this in the About Us tab with a heading for community involvement or corporate responsibility. Sometimes there is a separate community tab. If there is no grant information on the website, that might mean that they prefer to be a sponsor, which is different, and I'll cover that in just a minute. Step 3, pay close attention to what is supported and where and when. If you find a grant page on the company website, read those details carefully to save yourself from wasting time. Your number 1 priority is to find a match to your project. For example, a local bank may limit its grants to financial literacy programs and will not award a grant to a physical therapy program. But my pro tip for corporate grants will show you how to access even more resources from corporations, which may actually result in more dollars for your nonprofit than a grant. I'm giving you some pretty serious fundraising strategy here. Take notes, bookmark this video, and for sure subscribe to Grant Chatter if you haven't already, because this is the kind of in-depth information I love to provide and to share my years of experience in this world with you. Corporate non-grant option number 1 is sponsorships. Sponsorships are part of a company's marketing plan. They have a budget within the company for sponsorships, which is a separate budget than the one they have for grants. Corporations give sponsorship dollars to a nonprofit and expect the public to know about it. So be sure that your event has plenty of opportunities to give public recognition to that sponsor. Here's where it gets a little confusing between grants, so hang on. In the example I gave about a bank that has grants for financial literacy, but no grants for physical therapy programs, that physical therapy nonprofit might actually be able to apply for a sponsorship because maybe that physical therapy nonprofit has a very good, publicly known golf outing. And that bank may like to tie its name to the golf outing. Let me share with you 3 articles that will walk you through the steps it takes to build a professional sponsorship packet, linked in the description below. Now on to corporate non-grant option number 2, which is a double gift: employee volunteer programs. In today's corporate world, employees are encouraged to volunteer in their communities, and they're given time off to make this happen. Catch what I'm saying here, because not enough nonprofits know about this. If these corporate employees volunteer for you, the corporation will make a cash gift to your nonprofit. Go back to that company's About Us page or community page of their website and look for this information. They want nonprofits to know about this. Employee volunteering is usually set up to work in 1 or 2 ways. Volunteer option 1 is a large group of the employees come together for a one-day effort, such as making improvements in a park. Option number 2, an employee 1 or 2 or 3 regularly volunteer with your nonprofit. Maybe they run programs or serve on your board of directors, maybe for 1 year or multiple years. The company will send the nonprofit a check each year that that employee is a volunteer. Have you been wondering when I was going to get around to government grants? The time is now. Here's our 3rd option for nonprofits: grants from local, state, and federal government agencies. All government agencies use tax dollars for grants. This is referred to as public money. So if you hear me say public funder, I mean a government agency that awards grants. Why did I place this 3rd on the list when it's the most popular type of grant? Because it's the hardest to find, apply for, win, and manage. The number of rules, data points, outcomes, and report requirements for government grants far exceeds what is required from corporations or community foundations. Honestly, many nonprofits just aren't ready for them, but they are still an option. So let's see how. Let's start with the smaller government agencies such as towns, cities, and counties. Some states in the U.S. still have township governments as well. In those government agencies operating nearest your nonprofit, grant funds are most often available to improve the community and help with basic needs. That can be parks, water quality, food pantries, etc. And because they're near you, you may already know the elected officials. That means you can already reach out and ask questions. Where are those grants? And then how to apply for them. Once you get to the state government level, grants take on a significantly higher level of complexity because the state will have goals to see improvements in all facets of life. That could be childcare, environmental concerns, health, or workforce development, or all of them. State-level grants will require your nonprofit to have extensive experience in the subject matter and to be able to provide a lot of data on the results of your program. You will also need to devote time for regular meetings with all the nonprofits in the state that received those grant funds. I can tell you that I spend a significant amount of my time in these meetings called cohorts or check-ins for state government grants that are awarded to the nonprofit I work for. Let's take a quick look at federal government grants here, and then you can learn more from this video on the topic, also linked below. Here is a page from the grants.gov website, which is where federal grant information is housed. It's a list of all the federal agencies that award grants. In my career, I think I've worked on grants from maybe 12 of those agencies. I've been at this for a while. Take a few minutes to scroll through this list and see what each agency says about the purpose of their grants. Then you can click the link to go to their own website and learn even more. This is a lot for a small nonprofit to take on, but I have a solution for you. It is a pro tip that I have used throughout my career. This pro tip is a one-word piece of advice: collaboration. This advice will work for any of the grants that were listed in this video, but is especially helpful if you are new to the federal grant scene. Because you are a leader in your community, you already know other organizations that do similar work. Your nonprofit can collaborate with the others. Perhaps one nonprofit is larger and would have the capacity to apply for and manage a federal grant. That nonprofit becomes the lead applicant, which means they submit the grant proposal and they accept responsibility for it. The remaining collaborators, like you, receive a portion of the grant income and also a smaller portion of the reporting requirements. The next stage is to write that grant for your nonprofit, so continue your free masterclass education with this video, giving you the ultimate guide to writing the nonprofit grant proposal that will set you above your competition. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.